welcome back to Bookish Ties. We're the place where we dig into those really talked about transformative books and pull out the absolute best bits for you.
That's right.
Today, we are definitely digging deep into The Glucose Revolution by Jessie Inchauspe. It's this fascinating idea that maybe, just maybe, the biggest thing impacting your daily health is something as simple as, well, the order you eat your food.
Exactly. And our goal here really is to give you that blueprint for getting a handle on your blood sugar, whether you have a diagnosed issue or not.
Right.
The book's main point is that pretty much all of us are on this kind of invisible glucose roller coaster. Chaos, really. And if we can learn to smooth out those really sharp ups and downs, we unlock immediate wins like steady energy, fewer cravings.
Yeah, the big stuff.
And huge long-term health benefits, too. So we're focusing on the practical science tips, the ones that give you the biggest bang for your buck health-wise.
And you really get a sense of urgency when you look at the scale of this. The book mentions a study, I think it's fairly recent, that only, get this, 12% of Americans are metabolically healthy.
12%. It's wild.
It's staggering. It basically means most people listening right now are probably dealing with some kind of, glucose dysregulation.
Which is exactly what got the author, Jessie Inchauspe, started on this path. She wasn't always a glucose expert. No, she started looking for answers after a really bad accident when she was 19. A fall shattered a vertebra in her back.
Oh, wow.
And while she recovered physically, she later developed this condition called depersonalization derealization disorder, feeling totally disconnected from her own body.
That sounds incredibly difficult. A deep trauma.
It was devastating, but it also fueled this obsession with understanding how her body works. She actually worked at 23andMe for a bit in genetics.
Okay.
But she realized DNA, it just gives you probabilities, right? The real power day to day was in lifestyle, what we eat and how it messes with our blood sugar.
And that's where the tech comes in, the continuous glucose monitors.
Exactly. These little gadgets you wear on your arm. They let her see what was happening inside in real time.
Which was previously invisible.
Totally invisible. So she started tracking everything, meals, snacks, habits, and these patterns, the spikes and the crashes, they just became undeniable. And she realized, hey, this glucose thing isn't just for people with diabetes. It's like the master switch for everyone's energy, mood, long-term health. It affects us all.
Okay, so let's get into the science a bit more formally then.
Yeah.
What exactly is glucose and what makes a spike problematic?
Right. So glucose is basically your body's main fuel. It travels in your bloodstream. A glucose spike is just a sharp, quick rise in how much glucose is in there after you eat.
And what's the threshold? When does it become a problem?
Well, the book suggests aiming to keep that rise under 30 millibdl after a meal. Anything much higher than that starts triggering these harmful processes inside.
And you feel it pretty quickly, don't you? The short-term effects listed are, well, things a lot of people probably experience. Constant hunger.
Yep.
Cravings you just can't shake, feeling tired all the time, bad sleep.
Poor sleep, definitely.
Even worse, mood or anxiety. And it can apparently make things like migraines or menopause symptoms harder to manage.
Exactly. Those are the immediate hits. But it's the long game, the long-term damage that really makes you pay attention.
Okay.
Chronic spikes, these big, fast surges of glucose, they contribute to faster aging, heart disease, PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome.
Right, PCOS.
And even potentially Alzheimer's. Some people controversially call it type 3 diabetes. It's clear these spikes are doing serious silent damage over time, setting us up for major chronic diseases later.
Okay, that really clarifies the stakes. Let's unpack those three main ways these spikes cause harm. The book uses some helpful analogies, right? Starting with the train analogy for fatigue.
Yeah, that one explains the free radicals and oxidative stress. So imagine your cells have little engines, the mitochondria. They burn glucose for energy.
Like little trains.
Like little trains, exactly. When glucose arrives nice and steady, the trains run smoothly. But a huge, fast spike, it's like dumping way too much coal in all at once.
Overwhelms the system.
Totally overwhelms it. The mitochondria can't keep up. Energy production stalls, and you generate these damaging things called free radicals, oxidative stress.
The train stops.
The train stops. And that's why you feel that crash, that brain fog after a big carby meal. It's the speed of the glucose delivery that's the problem, the velocity.
Velocity, okay. Then the second process is glycation, the toast analogy. This is about aging.
Precisely. Glycation is it's literally like things browning inside your body slowly over decades.
Like toast browning.
Yeah. Excess glucose molecules stick onto proteins and fats, damaging them, making tissues less flexible, older. The book gives this really striking visual. Scientists see that a baby's cartilage is bright white, healthy, but by age 90, it's often brown. That's decades of glycation damage.
Okay, but if it takes decades, how worried should we be about, say, one piece of cake? Does it add up that fast?
Yeah. Well, it's cumulative, right? Every spike adds a tiny bit more damage, like adding layers. And crucially, the author points out that fructose, the sugar often found in processed foods and drinks, it glycates things 10 times faster than glucose.
10 times. Wow.
So yeah, every spike contributes to that accelerated aging, even if you don't see wrinkles overnight. It's happening internally.
That definitely puts it in perspective. Okay, the third process, maybe the most critical for weight and energy, uses the Tetris analogy. This involves insulin and fat storage.
Yes, insulin's job is to clear out all that extra glucose after a spike. Think of it like playing Tetris. Insulin tries to fit the glucose blocks into storage first.
Where does it store it?
About 100 grams in the liver, maybe 400 grams in the muscles, stored as something called glycogen.
Okay, limited space.
Very limited. Around 500 grams total. Once those storage spots are full, like in Tetris when the screen fills up,
Game over.
well, insulin has only one move left. Turn the extra glucose into fat and store it in your fat reserves.
And what about fructose in this Tetris game?
Fructose is like the impossible Tetris block here. It cannot be stored as glycogen in the liver or muscles.
Really?
Yeah. Fructose basically only converts to fat. So it goes straight to accumulating fat in the liver, which leads to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease.
Which is a growing problem.
Huge problem. And it also gets stored as body fat. And here's the kicker. When insulin levels are high all the time because of constant spikes, insulin acts like a locked gate. It prevents your body from accessing its own stored fat for energy. You're locked out of fat-burning mode.
So managing weight isn't just about eating less. It's about keeping insulin low enough so your body can actually use its fat stores. Flattening the curve is key.
Exactly. It's about hormonal balance triggered by stable blood sugar.
Okay, the damage is real. The science makes sense. Let's get to the solutions, the hacks. Where are the biggest wins for immediate change?
Right, the hacks. These are the simple, science-backed ways to eat the food you enjoy without, the internal chaos.
And hack number one is kind of mind-blowing because it seems too simple. Eat foods in the right order.
It sounds crazy, right? But there was a Cornell study. They found eating the exact same meal, but in a specific sequence.
Yeah.
It slashed the glucose spike by 73%, 73, and the insulin spike by 48%.
Just by changing the order. What's the order?
Fiber first, think veggies, salad, then protein and fat second, and save the starches and sugars for the very end.
How does that work?
The fiber hits your digestive system first and creates this kind of viscous mesh, a sticky barrier.
Okay.
And that mesh physically slows down how quickly the starches and sugars you eat after it get broken down and absorbed, slows the glucose rush.
The story about Bernadette in the book really drove this home for me. She lost 5 pounds in 9 days.
Just by doing this, yeah. She wasn't even diabetic or anything. She just ate her sandwich deconstructed salad and pickle first, then tuna, then the bread.
Wow.
And at dinner, she'd have her steak and veggies before touching the pasta. Simple change, huge impact. It really challenges that whole calories in, calories out dogma.
It really does. Seems like the body cares how the calories arrive, not just how many.
Precisely. Stability matters. Which leads perfectly into hack number 2. Add a green starter.
So basically, double down on the fiber first principle.
Exactly. Intentionally add some kind of veggie starter, like a salad or some non-starchy vegetables, before your main meal even begins. Ensure that protective fiber mesh is there.
Like our moms telling us to eat our salad first.
Your mom was onto something.
There was another great story about Jess. She grew up eating big salads, like fattoush, before meals.
Yeah, traditional Lebanese thing. But when she moved out on her own, her diet became mostly starch pasta, rice, sandwiches.
Standard young adult diet.
Pretty much. And she gained weight, got terrible cravings. But when she consciously went back to having that green starter before her main meals, the cravings just vanished.
That's huge, because cravings feel like a willpower issue, but maybe they're biological.
That's a key insight from the book. Stabilizing glucose restores your willpower because you're not fighting those intense biological signals from the blood sugar crashes.
Right.
And this is where the book really tackles the calorie myth head on. People focusing on flattening curves can often eat more calories.
More.
Yes, more calories and still lose more weight than people just strictly counting calories, but riding that glucose roller coaster all day.
That is a genuine game changer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've tweaked lunch and dinner structure. What about the start of the day? Where's the next big opportunity?
Breakfast. Hack number 4. Flatten your breakfast curve. The author argues this might be one of the most important changes you can make.
Why breakfast specifically?
Because if you start your day with a massive glucose spike, you basically throw your blood sugar off balance for the entire day, like the next 12 hours.
And the typical breakfast is not great for this.
Oh, it's usually a disaster. Cereal, pure starch and sugar, usually zero fiber, toast, bagels, same thing, fruit juice.
People think juice is healthy.
I know. But it's basically the sugar of several fruits. Concentrated, with all the beneficial fiber pulverized, it hits your bloodstream like a shot of sugar water. Huge spike, deregulation all day.
So the solution is go savory.
Pretty much. Think eggs, meats, cheese, maybe some nuts or seeds, full-fat yogurt. Things that provide protein and fat, keep that glucose line nice and steady until lunch.
There was an anecdote about Olivia, right? Trying to be healthy with smoothies.
Yes. She switched to these sweet fruit smoothies for breakfast, thinking it was the healthy choice.
Right.
But she ended up with more anxiety, worse acne, just feeling drained all the time, chronic low energy.
Because of the hidden sugar spike.
Exactly. When she finally switched to savory breakfast, eggs, avocado, that sort of thing, those symptoms just cleared up. It shows how direct the link is between these internal spikes and visible issues like skin and mood.
It really is empowering, realizing we have this control just by, thinking about timing and order. It's not about total deprivation.
Not at all. That's the core message, really. Managing glucose is arguably the most powerful lever you can pull for your overall health. It's the main control in the cockpit.
Yeah.
It impacts everything immediately: sleep, cravings, energy, and helps reverse or prevent chronic conditions long-term. PCOS, insulin resistance, potentially reducing risks for others.
Okay, before we wrap this up, let's leave everyone with that ultimate combo strategy. The book mentions layering hacks for maximum effect, right? Especially for treats.
Yes, the ultimate defense against a sugar bomb. Let's say you know you're going to have that slice of cake.
We all do sometimes.
Absolutely. The power combo is hack 7, which is drinking a tablespoon of vinegar. Apple cider vinegar works well in a big glass of water before you eat the treat.
Okay, vinegar first.
Vinegar first. It helps blunt the initial glucose absorption. Then hack 8. Do some movement afterward, like 10 to 20 minutes of walking or even just bodyweight squats.
Use up the glucose.
Exactly. Your muscles soak up that glucose before your insulin has to go into overdrive and store it as fat.
So you're kind of buffering the impact. It shows you don't have to completely eliminate treats, just be smarter about managing them.
Precisely. You don't need perfection, you just need smart sequencing, using the science.
Fantastic. Well, you are now armed with the core science and the most practical hacks from the glucose revolution. We really hope this deep dive gives you some simple, actionable things to try.
Yeah, start small, see how you feel.
Absolutely. And if you want more insights and shortcuts from other impactful books on health, wellness, and more, make sure you follow Bookish Dives wherever you listen.
We'll keep digging into the good stuff.
We will indeed. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.